Good morning. I'm Mike Lepore, owner and educator at The Talking Camera, and this is The Morning Cup, a show where we talk about coffee, cameras, and creativity. This show is sponsored by Recess Coffee, and today we mustache some hard questions for the one and only Justin Benson of Aftershoot AI. Justin, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. What an intro.
I know the whole mustache thing. I mean, you have an epic mustache, so I couldn't leave that out.
Thank you.
I did that for a while. I used to curl a mustache, but the maintenance and the beeswax and I
It's not easy.
commend you.
Thank you.
I
Yeah, it's not
commend you.
easy. At this point, I wake up like this, so no need for any product anymore.
Nice. So what did we send you from recess today?
We sent some amazing coffee. I left it upstairs because I literally just made coffee. So I have a lovely cup. It's aromatic. It's got kind of like a chocolatey. It's an incredible coffee.
It's really good. I'm a huge fan of theirs. So I'm glad you like it. Let's get into some difficult questions, some questions that people need to know, some questions that you've probably never been asked before. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
So let's start off. Has PETA contacted you about the ethical treatment of unicorns?
PETA has not contacted us because we have a very unique program in which we take care of our unicorns and give them tender love and care. So,
Okay.
yeah, we are not exploiting unicorns.
All right, because I was a little worried about that.
No, we shift them in and out. They have schedules. Like, yeah, we're up to code.
That's amazing. So I've heard a rumor, and I need to know: is it true that Aftershoot AI is an illegal battle with the Hogwarts Sorting Hat over intellectual property?
I'm not allowed to talk about legal pending cases,
Okay.
but let's just say that Hogwarts is going to lose.
That's amazing. Um, is it true that Aftershoot AI technology was tested in Area 51 originally as deconstructed aliens weapon technology?
So part of this statement is true. I'm not allowed to talk about anything other than the fact that it was Area 51,
Okay.
and there is no other pieces allowed to be spoken.
Gotcha. Because I mean, the whole when Aftershoot came to power or being was around the same time as we were storming Area 51 and that whole thing. So I
Yeah,
knew there was some.
it's possible that it's leaked technology. I'm not allowed to comment. Again, there's a guy in a black suit outside of my window staring at me, so I'm not allowed to
Okay.
comment.
So last really important question that I have on these topics. Are you from the future and is Skynet real?
So I am not from the future.
Okay.
Skynet is 100% real, but not because of us.
Okay. So you're in contact with someone from the future.
Yes.
Okay. So we know the outcome of what's happening
Yeah.
with
Oh, it's
okay,
happening now.
okay, okay.
It's
Because
happening faster than you think. So yeah, definitely, we'll be in trouble in the next 5 years. So
okay,
cherish it.
there's an
Yes.
AI war happening and you guys are on the cusp of it. So, well, I'm interested to see where that leads us. It's going to be interesting. So, I mean, I briefly touched on your mustache, but let's talk about it again because it's really a nice mustache. Do you think that this mustache has played the biggest role in your success?
In all seriousness, probably. Yeah, I definitely think there's people who find me on the streets or all over just trade shows, whatever it is, and they're like, "Oh my God, I know your mustache." They don't know me; they know my must. They literally
You're
walk
that
up.
mustache guy.
Exactly. They're like, "That's so." Now I don't have a name or nothing. I'm just the mustache man. So
Now,
yeah, I think a lot of energy and success comes from this
now,
hair.
were you that trendy guy who also carried a camera everywhere with your mustache? Because that's how I
Uh,
envisioned you.
no, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, my just a little backstory on the mustache. I grew it because I wanted to hang Christmas ornaments from it for my kids. And then I had a wedding client who was like, nope, my wedding's in 6 months. They saw it. They're like, you need to keep it.
And
I want
it
you there.
stayed since.
And it's been there for, well, 4 years now, 5 years now.
Wow. So your wife must love it.
Yeah, she was like, wow, you don't look as dumb as you do without it.
That's amazing. So let's kind of shift into that gear about your photography company, J Benson Photography, and how that company has changed since AI, because you weren't always the face of Aftershoot. You were Justin Benson Photography, and tell me about that.
Yeah, so I was an overworked wedding photographer. That was I mean, I still am an overworked wedding photographer. This is the first year I'm shooting less than 25 weddings.
Wow.
So normally I would shoot 50 to 80 weddings a year, and I would spend all my life culling and editing. And since Aftershoot, I have to be 100% honest. The thing that's changed the most is that now I can just do my work a lot faster, but it hasn't changed my delivery times or anything. So while we were developing editing, I was literally editing the same galleries over and over and over again, testing different, models and different things. So my delivery time last year did not really speed up. It probably slowed down because I was like, oh, I have to spend 3 months editing the same wedding under different, pretenses and stuff to see how the results change. Now I'm down to 3 hours, right? I can cull and edit and deliver a wedding in 3 hours. But so this year will be much different. But yeah, last year the culling, absolutely. Culling, that was something I dreaded, I hated. So that's, since we've, introduced Aftershoot, that's been totally different.
That's crazy. That's amazing. Now, because you got it back down, do you think that you'll add a couple more clients on top, or do you think Aftershoot's leading more of your time?
Aftershoot's all my time now. So my business is, I kind of put it sort of to the side burner at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have the capability to definitely book more, but I had to just stop it and say,
Right.
all right, this is the 25, because it's hard to manage both. We spent the past 3 months essentially traveling the world to talk about Aftershoot.
Wow.
So there's no way I could do 80 weddings in a
Right.
year and
That's
do this.
crazy. Now, I love that you're still shooting. Has your wife taken on a bigger role? Because she has camera skills too.
So she has not. She's really still just second shooter.
Okay.
A valuable piece, obviously, but for me, I kind of lead the charge. The mustache gets me the booking still. Right? So a lot of the bookings come from my mustache. She comes and shoots with me. I will say her role did change since the introduction of Aftershoot, because she used to help me cull,
Right.
and I fired her, and I didn't need her anymore. AI does it, so
Wow.
so she took a little step out of there, but she actually works for Aftershoot as well. So
Okay. So it's a big family business now for you guys.
absolutely.
Awesome. I'm interested to see, 3, 5 years from now, how that dynamic changes with AI getting bigger and what happens with your company, because you have less time. Is that going to change? And maybe you want to start exploring different avenues of photography. Back in March, you did a celebration of Aftershoot and said that you finally got to shoot your own personal project for the first time in years, and maybe that's something you get to do more often.
Yeah, that's that's kind of the coolest part of this. I think a lot of us get into photography because we love photography. I don't think a lot of us pick up a camera because it's a good business to start in. So I think a lot of us start for photography. We love photography, and then we end up working for clients and not ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always say, yes, I'm going to put away everything. I'm my own boss. I can make my own schedule. And then we're all stuck in the hustle of, like, we don't make our own schedule, and we're always working all the time because we're trying to, build the next lead or get the clients photos or whatever it is. So, for me personally, yeah, it was about 8 years since I'd actually taken pictures of something just because I want to take pictures. I never pick up my camera to go take pictures for fun anymore. And now I am. So definitely the progress of this. I feel a lot more comfortable now because my clients get their pictures much, they're going to be able to get their pictures much faster. I can actually dive out and go do what I want and celebrate just being in love with photography.
That's so amazing because that's my passion, is being able to explore other avenues and really educate myself and try new things that are fun for me and not just be stuck with what the client wants. I still do that because it's the business, but having that freedom, it's one of those things that are like, oh, that'd be so nice. So let's make this a little bit harder for you, because Aftershoot is a big part of your business workflow now. And the AI war is coming, and it's not just photographers; it's all industries. It's going after, and it's going to shift the market. So, do you think that photographers should pick up second revenue sources like you did with Aftershoot? Because I doubt Aftershoot was on your plan of, I'm going to join an AI company.
Yeah, no, it definitely was not. That's a fun story, but we'll save that for another time. That's a long one.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think photographers need to anticipate a shift. There is going to be some shift in the market. Whether you just adopt the ability to utilize AI, it's not a time to sit and let it just, every industry is going to face attack from AI, right? Every single industry. I mean, I just saw that Chat GPT, I think, passed the bar.
Yep.
Or one of them
a medical exam.
A medical exam, yeah.
Yeah.
So AI can be a doctor now, right? I mean, that's
Everyone's
wild.
going to be a hypochondriac. What does this mean?
Exactly. So, I think it's really important that we understand that there is going to be a massive shift in all industries. So being able to at least utilize AI for something is helpful. Do I think we need to, as a photography industry, to worry about being totally replaced by AI? I know that's a big debate right now. I 100% don't believe that's the case. No matter how much information you can give, there still needs to be core photographs to create it, right? So you can prompt AI to build some pictures of so and so, or a wedding or whatever it is, but it won't be the real representation. And I think the real representation is what people yearn for. That's why we're so attached to photography. And that's why people love photographs of themselves.
Right.
They may like to be retouched and look really pretty, but they don't want, necessarily a totally fake moment that never happened.
Right. And one of the industries that I think is being attacked the most in photography right now is the headshot photographer, because I've seen some really bad examples of people seeding in their photos and getting back just garbage, and I've seen some really good ones that I wouldn't know the difference of, because it's just chest up. Because let's be honest, AI can't do fingers. It's just,
oh no, it can now.
it's
not perfect.
It's close. It's getting there, but it's only going to progressively get better. And with things getting better, how does Aftershoot AI plan to stay innovative and relevant in this evolving landscape of technology?
Yeah, so one of the really cool things we have is that we're a marriage of tech and photography. So I'm just co-founder. Our founder, his name is Harshit. He is the techie. He worked for Google. He was a developer before, like brilliant. And I come with the needs of a photographer. And I think there's not any other companies that can really represent that, where both hats have one's a desire for tech and the other's a desire for solving photographers' problems. So when we come together and we sit down and we look at all these different, routes that we need to take and things we need to consider, we have a really unique take on the market. We have the best technology, but also we have like real life problems that photographers face. I use this product, right? It's not like, oh, I'm a photographer and I retired, and I will still use it on 25 different weddings this year. So every time I find a snag or a pain point for my personal workflow, it's addressed. And every time a user comes to me and says, hey, I'm having this problem, we address it and we say, okay, maybe we can change this to make your workflow easier. Maybe we add this feature. So it's cool that we're a company that's not just, based in technology or based in photography, but we have the marriage of the two.
Right. You're listening to your consumers, and you're actively trying to help them with a better workflow than what they had before, which leads me into my next question. Are there any upcoming features or improvements that are in the works at Aftershoot?
I can't talk about them.
Okay.
It is a very competitive market. We've always led this market, especially in culling. We're the late ones to the market, so to speak, in editing. But even with that, we know that we had a roadmap and features that were ahead of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just competitors got to see it before, right?
Right.
So I can't really talk about what comes, but we have so many cool things coming. I mean, just over the next 4 weeks, we have brand new features
Yeah.
thing, and yeah, so definitely stay tuned, watch closely.
What
But
one
yeah,
of the features that
cool.
I'm hoping for, sorry to cut you off. One of the features I'm hoping for in the future is the ability to sell your editing profiles. Because it's kind of similar to presets in a
Mhm.
way. And if I can be like, this is my profile, and someone who wants to edit like me, they can start doing it. Just a suggestion. I'm going to take full royalties on that when it comes out. Just so you know, I came up with it. There's no way you could have come up with it first.
Yeah, no, no, I totally understand. Yes. So I can't really talk too much to what that's going to look like. But I will say that there is something
You have a
coming.
roadmap.
We have a roadmap, and there is something that you will actually really love. So um,
Sweet.
you're, yeah,
I'm
you
on the
won't get,
cut. I'm on the cutting edge too.
yeah, you won't get the royalties for the idea.
So let's talk about the ethical concerns surrounding AI and how Aftershoot is positioning itself in that debate because we're talking about 6 month bans. People are trying to put a stop on AI. So, where's Aftershoot fit in this equation in this fight?
Yeah, so our stance as a company, we're behind photographers, right? Our company, we believe in the photographers that use us. We believe in the photography community. So we're very, very aware of a lot of the stuff that's going on, and that's not actually what we do, right? So image manipulation and creation is not something in our wheelhouse, and it's not something that we, really ethically support, right? We understand that how stable diffusion works. We understand how all of this stuff really operates and
Mm-hmm.
how detrimental it is to the industry itself, and how it actually it really is kind of just stealing work, right? I mean, it's not necessarily unique to any given system or whatever it may be. With that being said, our software is not doing that sort of stuff, right? And
Right.
we don't use a collective, universal model for anything, right? Whether it's editing, whether it's culling, none of it's some universal model that everybody feeds into for it to get smarter. Everything's individualized, and our overall models are things that we've created and built. So we aren't taking part of that awful stuff.
I I have to say though, there must be some sort of worry for you guys in that field. Adobe just released Firefly, which is using its own stock images with mixing in those other creative text prompts and draw to prompts. Is there a worry that Adobe could create their own version of AI culling and editing for you guys?
I mean, we always have to be somewhat concerned, right? There's never, I mean, it's probably less likely that it's Adobe and it's any other company that just jumps on the market and tries to find a way to surpass us in what we do. That being said, AI culling is a problem that we still constantly tweak,
Mm-hmm.
update, adjust. It's hard to get it right. I don't know of anybody else on the market that's doing it even close to right. Having used everybody's different softwares and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I've had a lot of really awful culls come back from other AI companies. So I think it's super important that we just focus on what we're doing and kind of ignore. Yeah, Adobe could swoop in and try their own version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll get it right. That it's a hard problem to solve, and it takes a lot of interaction.
Right, because there's this human element to culling of what do I like. There's composition and proper techniques you should have, but on the same time, there's human emotions, human expressions that you're capturing, and can AI detect those slight features that are meaningful to a mother of their child and a situation that a computer would never understand? Like, it can see smiling, but is it the right smile? You
Yep.
know? And I
It's
think that's the hard part.
Yeah, it's been years of work, right? I mean, like I said, our job's not even done on culling, right?
Right.
Editing's great. AI editing, we're like, we're at like, 90%, 95% accuracy on a lot of people's models, right? So that was an easy problem to solve. We started that a year ago, but culling has been going for 3 years and we're still improving it
Right.
and finding ways to create new models and new theories and improve different aspects of it. So could Adobe come in and launch their own culling? 100%. Do I
Or
think it'd
could
be
they buy you out? What's that?
well?
What's that $1 billion number for you, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to do that, yeah, I could talk.
I don't know if I'd like to see Adobe that powerful, but it's an interesting dilemma that we have, but something that I feel is necessary. I have tested out a couple different culling programs, and I'm currently putting yours and some other ones through the gear test. And it's definitely a work in progress. When I select portraits, sometimes landscape shots that are just test shots are showing up in the cull when really they shouldn't. And I think we're getting there. And I
Mhm.
think we have some really cool things coming in this future. Um,
Yeah,
with AI, because I use ChatGPT. This whole podcast is helped with ChatGPT and AI to help me come up with these questions, and it can do coding, and I'm sure it's helping your company creatively come up with solutions for problems. Where is this line of intellectual property going? Because it's starting to get fuzzy. It knows how to write the proper lines of theory. And what are some safeguards that you guys are doing where someone can kind of hijack your program and all the work you've done by utilizing AI?
yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to what we're focused on as a company right now, there is no fuzzy line for intellectual property. So we're not, like I said, we're not taking anything from anybody or utilizing anyone's information or whatever it may be to improve our overall models, right? So it's very individualized, and I think that's one of the things that we'll always stick to, even when it comes to profiles. I can tell you when we start allowing people to share or utilize other people's profiles, we have a lot of safeguards in place that even a preset company doesn't have, right? So you build a preset, you share it, I can in theory give it to you, right? We can share presets amongst friends. So that's something that AI can actually prevent. So we're actually kind of going in the opposite direction in a very positive way.
Awesome.
So it's cool. So like I said, we're big on the photography industry and community as a whole. So when we can do something like that, I mean, the creators, these preset makers, it matters that they actually are able to preserve the work that they do.
Right. Man, it's just such a fascinating time that we're in right now and the stuff that's happening. But let's talk about the unicorns a little bit more, because I think everyone wants to know more about the unicorns. First off, I was like, where the hell did they get these unicorns from? But to make it a little more serious, like real unicorns, are professional photographers becoming something of a forgotten past as the craft becomes accessible to everyone? Like, are we going to be the unicorns, like actual unicorns, where we just don't exist anymore?
No, that's no, I don't see that ever being a problem that we face. So I think when the transition from film to digital came, everyone freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then as technology became more and more affordable, everybody freaked out. Right. And I think there's a certain skill set that you can have as a photographer. There's things that take more than just being able to operate a camera. A really true great photographer is able to coerce people into doing what they need them to do, being able to smile, being able to interact, prompting
Hmm.
them, controlling situations. Like wedding photographers will never be able to go away, right? It's impossible that there will never, a skilled wedding photographer will always be needed. A skilled family photographer, it's going to become rarer and rarer that they are needed, right? I mean, I think
Hmm.
with the advance of iPhones and all of these different technologies, people are less likely to maybe book a session than they used to be, because they can preserve memories others ways, but they will still always be looking for a really great set of family photos. So
Right.
I don't think we'll see photography really. I mean, maybe there'll be a drop in it, but again, a talented photographer is always going to have a home in this industry, and there'll always be a need for talented photographers.
I feel that way wholeheartedly, but at the same time, and I think this is something that we saw in the previous 10 years as more people were getting cameras and getting hands-on access to mirrorless cameras that were doing the focus for them. There was this race to the bottom of these amateur photographers who were swooping in, lowballing photographers. And I'm a little worried for people like family photographers because most of the time, let's be honest, there's some people who like terrible photos and they can't tell proper composition. I'm just a little worried that this technology is going to inspire more photographers who aren't skilled, who can get away with stuff, and they can do it because they're better at marketing. Because let's be honest, you can be a terrible photographer and be a super successful business owner based on your marketing. What are your
Absolutely.
thoughts?
I think in this realm, there's always going to be this, just like you said, mirrorless cameras. That's exactly the thing, right? Now you don't need to even know anything about photography. You can just point your camera at it and you see the picture you're about to take. But I don't think that's killing any industry, because no matter how you look at it, there's always a need to excel, right? So as photographers, you can market great, but at some point you need to charge more, right? The photographer who's burning themselves out charging $100 for a family session, eventually they're going to come to a point where they're tired and they don't want to charge $100 for a family session. So there will
Right.
always be that upscaling, and I think it's cyclical, right? You can look at it in
Mm-hmm.
every pivotal point. You will see that transition of photographers who continue to grow, continue to charge more, and the new guys come in at $30 or $50, and then but eventually they book enough sessions and they realize, I can't do this for $30. I can't do 100 sessions a year for $30, and they have to upscale and reduce the amount to make more money.
Do you think I'm gonna go off of that because now with the AI culling and editing, they can stay at a lower price and do more quantity. Do you think that might be the shift of the market?
I don't believe it is, because even still, right, I mean, even me, I could say literally, if Aftershoot wasn't in my life, but I had all of the Aftershoot tools, I wouldn't be taking on more weddings or charging less for those weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I've gotten to the point, I've shot hundreds of weddings, right? I mean, probably close to 1,000 weddings under my belt. And with that being said, I know my skill set, and I know to leave my house now, I can't do it for less than $500, right? I just
Right.
I just won't. I still have a market, right? I had to shut down my bookings at 25 because I'm still getting people who want to pay $5,000 a wedding, and want to get in that space. That's fine. There's people in my area charging $800 for a wedding, and there will always be a market for both, right?
Right.
And that's why in any industry, there's always the expensive one and the affordable one,
Mm-hmm.
and people are going to go for the expensive one because they want the features, they want the things. Because you come to me because you want off-camera flash, and you want somebody who can handle portraits in a way that is fast, efficient, and different, right? So I'm not competing with the $800 guy because I can look at their photos and say, haha. But my clients also look at their photos and say, haha.
Right. So maybe what we might see is instead of an erosion of trust and an erosion of quality, people start putting their energy into new skills like flash photography to set themselves apart. And we actually see a new resurgence of our skill and craft and people putting more energy to set themselves apart, which I'd be excited for because there's so many people who are natural light only and they don't try to learn the other stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll see a big resurgence now with the AI, with AI's ability to cull and edit. It's not going to be able to take a bad photo and make it good,
Right.
right? You can't take a photo that needed off-camera flash and all of a sudden make it good. It just doesn't work, right? I mean, it's impossible for it to implement lighting that's not there. So essentially what it boils down to is now there is going to be a real surge for creativity, lighting. All of these really important factors are what's going to set photographers apart
And I've set
from.
myself up right for that resurgence.
And that's perfect. You're right in the right place. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
definitely going to be a big push for photographers to learn other skills and utilize their creativity differently now that anyone can essentially have AI speed up the flow.
Right. I want to bring it back to my sponsors, Recess Coffee, and I want to ask, do you think that in the world of AI, can we train computers to roast and brew better cups of coffee? Is that too far out of realm or
No, I don't even think that's an AI problem, honestly. I think we could probably collect just enough data on is the best cup of coffee. Maybe AI helps us get there, but then it's just machinery at that point. How can we make machinery understand the perfect temperature for brewing and the perfect, thickness of ground beans? It's more measurements at that point.
which AI could assist with? You know,
AI could definitely assist with
it can
that.
take all that data and be like, this is what people like.
Absolutely.
I'm onto something. So
You
Recess
are, because
Coffee, let's get into the AI coffee business. All
I
right.
think if you were to pitch that to every Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever it is throughout the country, they'll probably laugh you out of the room until you actually invent it. And then they'll say, wow, so you mean every single cup of coffee that leaves here is going to be brewed to perfection? Yeah, I'm in.
I'll take in people's taste bud information and everyone will have a unique coffee blend just for them. I'm going to revolutionize coffee. Forget
Love.
cameras. All right, last question. Are there any promotions happening right now with Aftershoot that people need to know about?
100%. So we have a very, very limited time promotion. So as you're listening to this, you've got probably another week or two left to jump onto it. But we're offering a pre-sale for our AI editing and our AI culling. We call it a founder's pricing. So for $500 a year, you lock in that price for as long as you have an active subscription. You're able to get all the culling and all the editing you could possibly ever want, which is really cool because we're trying to take this AI and, like I said, let people, instead of paying per image, let it help you in the pictures that you processed of your kids or the deer out back or whatever you want to take pictures of. We can cull and edit it for you for a flat fee. So it is the only really great solution, I think, on the market right now, that can do
Now,
well. There are other people doing this, right?
yeah,
There are other companies doing AI culling and AI editing, but I think really, as somebody who uses it and has used them all, this is the solution that, at least for me, is the closest to the end result that I need, and that I can really launch into and focus a lot of energy on. So again, $500, unlimited everything.
and that's
That's
also
that's
updates too, right? Forever.
every single update, every improvement we make, right? So some of our roadmap features coming up. I mean, I can say we're going to be launching masking this year, so you'll be able to use, yeah. So there's lots of cool stuff coming, right? And all that's included. Everything that comes from culling and editing, every feature, every update, it's all in your wheelhouse, and you never have to pay another penny for it. So lock in
Awesome.
that price for life. I mean,
I will add a link to that on my YouTube. Like and subscribe to the Talking Camera on YouTube. This streams on all channels. Justin, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
thanks for taking it easy on me. I was worried that it was going to be a tough one, but this was awesome. Thank you so much for having me, and
Uh,
thank you for the coffee. Reese's coffee, absolutely incredible. It's perfect because I actually ran out of coffee too, so I'm going to use that and then go order some more from where is it? Reese's.com.
Recess Coffee. It's from Syracuse, New York. So
Perfect.
thanks, Justin. Have a good one.